I woke up one morning and thought, what would happen if I build a Minecraft structure in 1 minute, 10 minutes versus 1 hour? But first, we have some rules to make this interesting. Firstly, I cannot use any building mods such as Lightomatica, WorldEdit, or Axiom to assist me in building. And of course, if I can't use mods, I can't use commands either to aid me in building. And with that, let's get right on to the building process. At this point, I don't know what I can even say in a 1 minute compilation. I genuinely slapped some blocks together, gave it a hat, and called it a day. I can't even call this abomination a build. And here is the build. Yeah, what would you expect from 1 minute of building? Alright, I started with a cobblestone foundation that leads straight into stone, kinda like a gradient starting from dark to light. Next, into an andesite layer, and after that, right into a diorite layer, further developing the gradient. After diorite is polished diorite, which kinda is wider. Yeah, so after that, we switch into white concrete and finish off with white wool. For the roof, I did crimson planks because it looks good with the white and the theme. If you didn't know by now, this is an Air Mage tower, and purple always fits the theme. I finished the build with slabs of the same material I used for the roof. After this, I started on the door decorations and the window. And with that, the build was complete. That is the 10-minute build. But before we get into the 1 hour build, please consider subscribing, for it is my quest to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of this month. Anyways, back into the video. For the 1 hour build, I already had the gradient in place, so I could focus on turning it into a complete structure. I started with the existing cobbled deep slate base and followed the gradient into regular deep slate, then tuff, which was the next darkest block. From there, I moved into cobblestone, which was also the beginning of the 10-minute build we had just previously built. This time though, I had much more time to develop the idea instead of rushing. After cobblestone came stone, then andesite, once andesite was finished, I moved into diorite. and then polished diorite. This section definitely looked like bird poop, so I tried to get through it as quickly as possible. Luckily, after polished diorite came white concrete, which looked much cleaner, and then white wool, which marked the end of the gradient. Next, I worked on the roof. I noticed that it was a little too oval when it was supposed to be circular, so I quickly fixed the shape before moving on. For the roof, I used the same materials as the previous build, crimson planks and slabs. The red-purple gave the build some colour and contrasted nicely with the grey and white gradient. After finishing the roof, I moved to the window and then the door decorations. These details helped break up the large walls and made the front of the building feel less plain. They weren't huge additions, but they made the structure look much more complete. With the main structure finished, I moved on to the lawn. Next, I added azalea leaves around the base and some floating lanterns to give the Air Mage vibe more depth. Finally, I started adding pale oak trees around the build. I placed them carefully so they would frame the structure without hiding the gradient. Once the trees were in place, the whole build started to feel much more like a finished Minecraft scene instead of a structure sitting on an empty patch of ground. Overall, the 1 hour build was basically about taking the gradient I already had and turning it into a proper finished build. I didn't need to reinvent the block order, I just needed to build around it, fix the roof, add the details, and finish the environment. And honestly, getting past the bird poop section was probably one of the biggest victories of the entire challenge.